Welcome to the coziest corner of the creative world, where art, literature, and our beloved animal companions come together in conversation. Join me, your host, Holly B., and my co-host, Rogan, in the Little Shed, a space where ideas flow freely and creativity thrives as we explore the profound ways animals influence and inspire our creative lives. In today's episode, we welcome Rachael Austin, a native New Yorker, type 2 fun seeker, dog-obsessed girl who's happiest outside with her people and her pups. She believes that adventures are better with dogs. So do I. And along with her 2 pointers, Willow and Timber, she loves inspiring others to get out and explore more with their pups by their side. When she's not creating content, she's working full-time in public health, spending quality time with her family, and hiking as many mountains in the Northeast as she can. Hi, Rachael. How are you tonight?
Well, I am so good. How are you?
I'm great. It's cold in here. It's 2 degrees in the shed, and my glasses are fogging up, but that's
No.
okay. Hi, Rogan. How are you?
I'm good. I am a little warmer than you. I'm so sorry to hear that. Oh, your glasses are fogging up? That's
They
bad.
are. Yeah, I know. But hey, this is self-imposed, so I
Yeah.
have only
You know
myself
what?
to blame.
Yep.
I'm
Lesson
wearing my
learned.
winter jacket. My hands are in my pocket. So good news.
All
I
right.
won't talk with my hands tonight.
Well, you
That-
actually you should, because it'll keep them warm. Like it'll
Yeah.
keep the
That's
blood
true.
flowing.
I was
That's
gonna
true.
say
That's
I'm a
true.
hand talker, so I'm all for it.
Do you have French in your culture as well?
No, but Italian, and I
Oh,
feel like
okay.
we're very
Yep.
it's a lot of big gestures.
Yeah.
So
Similar. I'm forever like in a meeting at work. The hands are going. I just sit on your hands, Holly.
yeah.
But Rachael, thank you so much for being here with
Yeah.
us on this chilly winter night, as it is for you and for us. And we're all just trying to stay warm. But I reached out to you and you answered. And we
Yeah.
discovered through a call that we are kindred spirits.
That's
And
right.
I have a feeling that we are kindred spirits, but Rogan is going to have a whole lot of questions this evening
Yeah.
or comments, because what we're about to discuss for you and your dogs is
Yeah.
of great interest to him.
Yeah, I love
So
it.
is that like a hook for the listeners, Rogan? I don't know.
Yeah? Question mark? I don't know if the terminology, the right word is there, but sure, it's a hook.
Okay. All right. So
Pressure's on.
Rachel, would you
Yeah.
please kindly tell us about your pets and who
Yes.
they are? And I mean, Willow and Timber, but you may have others. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's it for now. So Willow and Timber, both like hunting dogs, pointers. So we've got Willow, who's 8. She's a German Shorthaired Pointer. She was my very first puppy. My husband had a dog who did pass previously, but like she was my first real like dog from a puppy, which as a kid who always wanted a dog, that was like a big life moment for me. She's about to be 8. She's turning 8 this month. And then we got Timber. He just turned 3. So he's a little younger, a Vizsla. We wanted to get him at a point when like him and Willow would have a good time together. They'd be able to like enjoy life, and she wouldn't be too old where she'd be kind of like over a puppy. So they are fantastic. They have a ton of energy, as you probably have seen. And so they really, I mean, I was active before we got them, but they have definitely kept us very active. And yeah, we're out in the cold every day. So they are both pretty crazy. But they're also some of the best dogs. I love them so much.
But Willow is turning 8.
Yeah.
But Willow's a she.
Yes.
I think it's because I heard you say Will in the beginning. I thought, oh, that's cute.
Yeah,
Is that like a
yeah.
short form? Do you
Yes,
call her Will
I
sometimes?
do call her. I call her Willie and
Oh,
Will. Yes.
love it. But even at 8, we
Yeah.
know that pointers have high energy because we think our dog Cash has some pointer in him. So has she even shown any signs of slowing down?
Yeah, when she's outside, no, not at all. Like she's always the one who is off doing her own thing. She loves to range. And then the difference now is when we come home, she's chill for the day. She'll sleep. She spends a lot of time relaxing. That was not the case when she was a puppy. So she's definitely mellowed out at home, but outside, zero change.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. Okay, I
Yeah.
like that because I would describe mine as the same.
I was
He's
going to say, yeah.
still, yeah, like he's around 12-ish, we think, and outside, bye, but
Yeah.
inside, lapdog.
When he
Yep,
crashes,
100%.
he crashes.
Yes.
Very good for cuddles at night.
Yes, totally. I feel like they have two modes. It's like crazy, all go, 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 and then it's crash and snuggle. They are so good at both.
Rachel, I heard you say the word range. What does that mean?
Yes. So that's how a lot of people ask me, like, okay, what's the difference between a GSP and a Vizsla? And I say the difference is the range. Like, at least what I've seen is like Willow and a lot of German Shorthairs, they're bred to kind of go far away from you. So they have quite a range. They're comfortable, like going away. And they always, like, for me, Willow always comes back, but there are times when I'm like, where is she? Can't see her. Timber and Vizslas are much more like aware of where their people are and they want to be close to you naturally. So he was a lot easier to train like a recall or to train to be close to me. He just wants to be there. So they have quite a large range, the GSPs I've found. And that,
Okay.
yeah, so it's kind of stressful at first, but like once you kind of realize that's their breed and you just have to work with it,
You kind of
gets
roll
better.
with it.
Exactly.
Yeah. So the name timber, I mean, willow is a tree, but timber is, can you tell me where that name comes from?
Yes.
I'm curious as
You're
can
on the
be.
right track there. I think Willow was one that it's such a popular name here, I think, but it was one that my husband and I kind of agreed on and we liked it. And then when we were getting Timber, his coat is very red, kind of like a dark russet color. And so we thought we were between like cedar, timber. So we kind of decided to just keep with the tree theme. And eventually we just thought Timber
Okay.
seemed to fit him better. So that's exactly where it came from.
Well, I must be blanking then because I thought timber was just another word for wood, but it's
Yeah.
actually a tree or?
Well, I think it was like, the idea was sort of like a tree. And it was funny. We tried to, when we got him, we tried to pick out like a registered name that involved the song, like "It's Going Down, I'm Yelling Timber."
Yeah.
Familiar. But
Wonderful song.
yes, we just thought, oh, that's so funny. So we sort of loosely got to timber because of it being related to a tree. But like, yes, it's not an actual tree.
Okay,
But
well, I
we were
love
like,
it.
well, it makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all the trees because timber is
Yeah.
probably ranging everywhere
Yes.
amongst the trees.
Yes, he sure is, and he blends right in. So
Aw,
yeah,
awesome. Well, you must have one of the most aesthetically pleasing social media
Mhm.
thank you.
contents I have ever seen. And I'm
Thank
sure
you.
I'm sure you hear that a lot.
That is so kind.
If there's an award for it, we are nominating you.
Oh, thank you so much.
No,
I
it's true.
appreciate
Like
that.
you just your brand is very clear and it's beautiful and it makes me happy looking at it. Like it's you can tell there's a lot of heart and soul put into your work.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit more about, how you create? Like you're a creative individual, obviously, but how your dogs fit into that and all the fun
Yeah.
things.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know when we talked before too, like my day job is not very creative. I love it, but I sort of was, I don't know, just in need of a creative outlet, if you will. And so when I first got Willow, I stumbled into like photography just because I loved taking pictures of her and I would post pictures of her. And then I started to see people post their really nice photos of their dogs. And I thought, oh, I want to learn how to take, good pictures of my dog. And that's kind of how I got I had an old digital camera. I started picking it up again with her. And initially, I would say like the first few years of my content creation was focused on just learning how to take good photos of her. So she's like my original muse, and I feel like she's taught me a lot about creativity, which I can definitely get into. But from there, I sort of just noticed that we were taking a lot of trips together. She's kind of like my sidekick for everything. And I realized that there was kind of a space where I didn't see a lot of people creating in the dog friendly travel world. And I thought, like, oh, maybe this is a niche I can kind of get into and start like educating people. I would get questions all the time. Well, like, how do you plan trips, or how do you come up with your ideas for where to go? And I was like, oh, maybe, like, I think it was a mix of my analytical mind too, where I love to research, I love to plan. And I'm like, oh, I thought this was like pretty easy. So I kind of just combined like the questions I was getting, my love of planning things, and then wanting to do it in an aesthetic way to like document the beauty of these places and seeing them with your dogs. And so it just all kind of like melded together. And so that's what
Yeah.
I've been doing for the past couple of years. So,
Oh, that's
Wow.
incredible. And I envy you because I love traveling, but the planning phase,
yeah, right.
I'm gone. I can't.
yes.
I'm
Yes.
so bad for leaving things for last minute. And also having to the extra layer of having to plan, knowing that your dogs will be with you potentially, I'm sure adds like a curveball here and there, but it's worth it, of course, I assume.
Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
totally. But I think that's, you either fall into one of those camps, right? It's like you're there for, and I think you need a mix of both. I have a friend who I love planning the trips and she loves coming on them, and it's perfect. So,
I would be
I'm
that
the
friend.
latter.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you take classes for the photography or did you learn just through trial and error?
That's a great question. I would say it was a mix. I did a lot of like self-paced education, I would say. So I did a lot of YouTube. I have like a Skillshare membership, which is like
Yes.
classes. So
Mhm.
I've done that. I took some like continuing ed classes, but then mostly like just kind of went out, shot different things, and then came back and kind of figured out how to do that. I have taken, since, kind of getting started and learning about my camera, I did have to take like a special drone photography course to get certified to use that for anything like commercial. But it's mostly been just, finding stuff online that I thought was interesting and
Yeah.
advancing it. And I do just love kind of being a forever student. So I'm like always into, you know, trying to improve my craft basically.
I can appreciate that 100%. So, do you mainly travel close to home or do you venture off? I know how difficult it is to travel with my dogs.
Mhm.
So, I can imagine, although your dogs, like Willow, must be, and Timber, you bring both of them now, but they
Yeah.
must fall into a routine because it's something that you do on a regular basis.
Yeah, I think so. And it's interesting. You'll probably see like I do a lot of trips with one dog or the other dog. We will sometimes we'll take trips together, but so I have it's me, my husband, and my 6-year-old daughter. So I do a lot of solo trips, I would say, like as part of my content creation. And typically I'm either taking Willow or Timber. And you're right, they're pretty, good with the routine. It's mostly places I can drive to within the Northeast or around New York State, I would say. And then sometimes as a family, we'll take a bigger trip. Like last year, we did a nice trip to Shenandoah National Park, which is super
Mm.
dog friendly. And that was great. We took both dogs. If there's both of us, we can do it. And then if it's myself, both my dogs are kind of quirky. They have the opposite, like, personality characteristics, so they can be like tough to manage alone. But yeah, we'll plan a lot of local stuff. I'm really big on kind of exploring state parks in New York specifically. Like there's so much beauty in the state too, and I'm just like, oh, this is great. Like they're all dog friendly, so it's I kind of tend to be close to home. But someday I'd love to do a big trip with them, like out west. That would be the goal.
Mhm. Off the top of your head, pitch me a state park in New York if you can, please.
Yes. Oh
Just
my
anywhere.
gosh, okay. Letchworth State Park, have you heard of it?
No, and I don't know how to
No.
spell that.
Yeah. That is, so Letchworth, it's Letch and then Worth.
Oh,
It
okay.
is it's in Western New York, kind of maybe like an hour from Niagara Falls, probably.
Oh,
Um,
so okay, pretty close. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and it is beautiful. It's, like, consistently voted the best state park. They call it the Grand Canyon of the East, but I highly recommend it if you like waterfalls, really beautiful gorge trails. It's amazing, and there's lots to do with dogs there, so
Okay,
Awesome.
that's
yeah.
doable
Yeah,
That is
right? It's
doable.
not too
in
far,
a
right? Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
I have recently become a little obsessed with the West, and I'm not getting out to the East enough. And there's enough stuff out here for me to check out too. I'm about an hour from Niagara Falls to the north, so
Great.
it's like right there.
Okay. This is
Perfect.
like yes, I
It's
know.
meant to
I
be.
feel like a visit there is in your future.
So you do sorry,
Nope,
you
go
you
ahead.
do camping, backcountry, backpacking, all that. Can I just generally ask like what kind of brought
Yeah.
you towards that? Has it always been in your life, or was it maybe kind of encouraged when you got Willow and Timber, or just where'd that
Yes.
fall into place for you?
That's yes, I did not grow up doing any of that. I was very much not like an in and outdoorsy family. We didn't do any like even now we don't even eat outside because of the bugs like my family growing up. But I got into before I got Willow and Timber, my husband and I were really into running. And so we had done like a lot of trail running, more running. And so I'd gotten into like enjoying the trails. But then when we got the dogs, that was really what inspired me more to like learn about. I had never been camping, I had never been backpacking. And then I met all these people through social media who were doing that and who were willing to share. And my first backpacking trip, I actually flew out to meet a content creator in Utah and we backpacked together. So it was like, it kind of introduced me over time. And now I just like being able to spend as much time outside as possible with them and they love it. And so, yeah, it's definitely kind of developed a lot more in recent years.
Hmm. And what a great space to share, not only with family, friends, but also like your dogs. I mean, you really can have that just one-on-one time with each other with like very few distractions out in nature, like I guess honestly as intended to be, I suppose, right? So
Right.
that's great.
Yeah, it's so nice, and you can tell at the end of the day, they're so tired and, like, fulfilled just from being out and hanging out and getting all the sniffs in and, running, hiking, they just love it all, and I think they're just happy to be with you too. It
Yeah,
Hmm.
for sure.
yeah, yeah,
Do you think that if Willow and Timber had not come into your life, which obviously that would have never happened, but
yeah,
you think that I know it's like a weird question. What is
yeah,
she asking me?
yeah,
But I just, do you think it's because of them that this happened? And it just feels like this was very organic and
yeah,
it was meant to be with
mhm,
first Willow and then Timber and
yeah,
this creating content, traveling, loving the space that you're in and
yeah.
exploring.
Oh, 100%, I think. And, I always, I kind of joke about this a little bit. I love travel. I always have, and I've been to a lot of cool places, but I also have, a pretty severe fear of flying. Like it's gotten worse the older I get. And I don't enjoy it. And
Oh,
I say like, oh, my dogs really helped me because like they're not getting on a plane. They're too big to fit in the cabin anyway. So I'm like, they really pushed me towards exploring more locally and then really just like exploring more of the spaces that are accessible to me. So I used to be a person who would just travel to cities or just travel to, bigger places. And now that I'm with them, I'm really exploring like the nature aspect of things as well. And so I'm like, they prefer it. They don't want to be in a city. They want to be out exploring and like swimming in a lake and having a campsite. And so that definitely pushed me more towards that type of travel. And it's also been a little bit of a crutch for me too, because I'm like, oh, this is great. I can drive everywhere.
yep.
But yeah, I don't think I would be so into this type of travel if it wasn't for them. Yeah.
How do you approach the places that you go to? Like some of the, my goodness, like the
Yeah.
photos, like with the wood and the cabins. And so, how do you, well, they're dog friendly, but do you have
Yes.
to approach them in a certain way and say, like, I'm creating content, ask for permission or?
Yeah. Oh, that's a great question. It's kind of a mix of both. So now that I'm like more established, I would say in sort of this niche, I'll get pitches. Like I've had some different properties that I've worked with long term who will just say, "Oh, we're bringing on this new dog friendly cabin. Could you come take photos of it? And it's in this area." And so sometimes I'll sort of get a pitch from a property, and then I'll build a trip around it, and that'll sort of be one way. And the other is I might be planning my trip somewhere, and then I will reach out to places that are dog friendly, and just I tend to see like if they have a content need. In a lot of times it's just showcasing that they are dog friendly. Maybe that's not very well advertised, or it hasn't been, the primary thing that's being featured. And so I try to go at it from that angle of like, well, I can create some photos and videos for you of your property to kind of help tell that story. So I did a lot of that last year, probably too much. And I think I was telling you, I sort of like burned myself
Yeah.
out at the end of the year. So this year I'm doing a lot more organic, sort of just I'm booking my own places now so I can just enjoy the travel part of it for a little bit instead of creating so much
Yeah.
content along the way. But yeah, it's been a very fun way to see really cool places.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, like, because your stuff, as Holly mentioned, is just incredible. But I do imagine it can be pretty taxing at times, especially when you're on this trip or experience that I'm sure you want to also have some time to enjoy. Do you have any strategies or like anything you do to try and keep that balance beyond just, actually carving out your own time and choosing, okay, this trip I'm not going to do that much content, or I'm going to limit myself in this way, or I'm not going to take as many of these promotion deals, which by the way, amazing. That sounds like you were able to establish yourself in this niche. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, like
Yeah.
how do you strike that balance? I find I sometimes I'm like, I'm in the beautiful place. I feel so much pressure to like capture this moment for myself for the
Mhm.
future. And I like it takes me out of it. And that's just very much like life in the modern age with phones in general. But yeah, I'm curious about that.
That's such a great question. And honestly, that's been something I've been navigating like every day. I feel like cuz
Hmm.
I started this to really be like a creative outlet, and I didn't want it to become like a second job that I was stressed about because like, it's supposed to be fun. So, I think things that I've done to really help kind of make sure that it's manageable for myself is like I do a lot of pre-planning. So I have like a shot list that I put together that I every time I go to a place, these are the things that you have to do. And I try to get the required stuff out of the way in a certain time frame and give myself, a couple of hours to do it. And that way I can enjoy myself the rest of the time. I also try to really like if I've got a lot of paid work for partners coming up, I try to schedule in just like time where I go on an adventure and I don't bring my camera, or I just
Hmm.
document it for myself, just making sure that there's like enough of a balance between doing stuff for yourself and enjoying the creative process versus like, oh, I felt like I had to monetize this and now I'm like, I have to have deliverables and I have to give this to somebody. And so I think trying to strike that balance, which I definitely struggled with at the end of last year, it just always tends to be really busy in the fall and like holiday season. But yeah, it's like a forever every
Hmm.
once in a while I'll get out of alignment and then I'm like, okay, you need to just go on a fun trip,
Yeah, no,
you
for
know,
sure.
and bring it back. So yeah, but it's
Yeah.
That's a really good point, and it's a great one for you to bring up, Rogan, because in the process that I'm in right now, like I work full time and I'm creative, but I'm longing for sitting on couch doing nothing,
exact
or just being quiet. And so there comes a time when you have to listen, and when it's enough, and when you need a break. And it depends where you're at. I mean, if this was something that was your livelihood, well, that's different. And then, of course, you have to adjust. But it's a great point to know where that balance is. So to hear that I love that you're so organized, and it's like, okay, no, these are the shots that we have. We're gonna do
yep,
this. Now, Willow, this is our job for an hour, and
yep.
then we get to have fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. And sometimes I think like the dog aspect can complicate it, right? Because they're not a model that you can just be like, "How are you feeling? Are you
Hmm.
good? Do you need to get out?" It's like you really do have to make sure you're not putting them in a situation too where you're like, if they're not feeling it, I'm not pushing it. So you have to just kind of take into account, you always have to be thinking of them. Like their trip too. And I don't want them to be like, oh, we're posing for photos for 2 hours and no breaks or, so it's like you kind of have to read them. It's so different when I've, just done things by myself or had a trip where I've gone, I'm like, oh, I can just decide to stop doing this now or start doing this. So you really do have to like, you can't talk to them and see how they're doing.
Do you have a certain amount of time that you dedicate to your content creation? Like in a week, would you average a certain amount?
That's such a great question. I feel like I can give you sort of my schedule is like typically um before work and then after my daughter goes to bed are typically my I would say those are the times when I'm working on editing photos, putting posts together, adding text, creating the videos. I typically try to like the week before plan out what I'm going to post for the week. And then I wish I was the type of person who could sit down and edit them all on like a Sunday and then have them all ready. I'm very much like, oh, today I'm going to work on this. And then tomorrow I'm going to work on this. And then I typically will do most of my traveling over the weekend. Sometimes I will take time off of my, full-time job to do trips, like to make it a little easier. But then I also want to balance like spending time with my family and,
Yeah.
all of
Yeah.
that. So I think we try to do trips together when we can. And then I spend, my relaxing time on the couch working on my posts every
Mhm.
day. So I'd say it's definitely something every day. I do try to give myself like Friday and Saturday off from thinking about posting.
Good.
So,
No,
yeah.
that's good.
Yeah, it can be so easy to just have too much going on, especially with full-time work as well. I find that can take way too much time and way too much energy as well for side
Mhm.
projects just throughout the day, throughout the week. So it sounds like the way you're able to stay organized really helps with that, which is great. And I'm taking notes because not the story on my
I
end.
know. It honestly wasn't for me. I think this is like at the end of last year, I realized I had to put some systems in place for
Mhm.
myself because it was becoming this thing. And then I think you naturally, anytime you're doing content or, you get on your phone to do something and then you're down a rabbit hole of looking at other things and you're like, oh, I just spent 20 minutes doing that instead of,
Well, yeah.
working on what I was supposed to be doing. So, I think that's sometimes is the hardest part too, is like just
Oh,
set a timer, do the thing and don't scroll at
As my
all.
1
husband likes to
hour
call it, dead scrolling.
Dead
dead
scrolling. That's
scrolling.
it.
Ah, okay.
He
Yeah.
can't get the doom scrolling.
Doom
Really.
scroll, I was gonna say. Yeah,
I
I'll be
keep
1 hour into
trying,
the
but
Wikipedia deep dive, like,
dead scrolling.
what was I supposed to be doing again? Like, I don't know.
Dead
Yeah.
scrolling. Yeah.
Dead
Um,
scrolling.
Rachel, do you see a book in your future by any, I'm just putting that out there. Gosh, I could just see the photos turning the pages and
No. To be honest, I've never really thought about that, but I did just get a request from someone asking about writing like a chapter in a book on traveling. And I was like, oh, like, oh, that could be neat. But
so
um,
neat.
yeah, I thought so. Like I feel like you could also tell like um the stories of just your experiences with dogs on the road
Yes,
and like the people you'll meet and stuff. I feel like my dogs are much more of a conversation starter than, they
of
would be
course.
without.
Yeah.
I would buy that coffee table book,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
I love that. Maybe I should think about this.
Well,
I have
there
no
was
idea how
so
to do it, but
well, just keep taking your photos. I mean, you
yeah.
have a library already. Start writing
Yep.
little bits. But there was an author here. I believe he was Canadian. I could be wrong, but it was Momo. Do you remember that, Rogan?
Oh,
Where
yeah,
is
Andrew Knapp, I
Momo?
believe his name is.
Finding Momo.
Finding
Is
Momo.
Oh,
it Andrew Knapp?
yes.
Okay,
Yes.
yeah.
Anyways, doesn't matter where he's from, but
Yeah.
he created some beautiful books. And
Yep.
so that's what came to mind right away. And
Yeah.
again, when I can see your posts and they all have a thread between
Yeah.
them. And they would just be so seamless in a book. And
Oh,
you could have like a couple of pages of just a story, or maybe there was an interesting anecdote on one of those trips. And
Yeah.
anyways,
Oh my gosh, I love that. I
I'm
didn't
trying
even
to sell
think
you
of-
a book that
I have that
He
book
just really
too.
wants the book.
I love it. Well, it's like when you talk about it that way with the pictures kind of driving it, I'm like, oh yeah, I could definitely do that. You know, I do have a lot of years of photos.
and you
on-
already have the brand, right? Like that
Yeah.
similarity between like the woodsy feel, and I can
Yes.
just lots of buffalo plaid, lots of
Yes. Oh
buffalo
my
plaid.
gosh. Exactly. Yeah. And I will finally have a website soon. I've been working with someone to rebuild it
Wow.
in that sort of the brand, just rebranding. And that way I'll have a place to, I would love to get more into blogging and writing more. And I have a few blogs, but I feel like I keep saying when the website's done, then I'll start doing some
Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
But that's the goal.
Well, baby steps. I mean, you've
Yeah.
taken giant leaps.
Yeah.
But as far as a new project, then it could just be incremental and wherever it's comfortable, because
Exactly.
yeah. Holly, take your own advice.
Yeah.
We all should.
I would personally appreciate a blog from you, because I feel like you must have a ton of insight. Speaking of which, I'm hoping to do my first solo backpacking trip this summer. I'm starting to plan it. It's not going well because whenever I start planning, I start dead scrolling, is a term
Yes.
that I'm learning. Off the top of your head, like if you could have like one piece of advice or one like anecdote or anything about that kind of trip, could you
Yeah.
share anything?
Oh my gosh. So
There's probably a
first,
million
I
different
want
things,
to
but
know like where you're going.
oh, the thought currently for me is Algonquin Provincial Park here in Ontario. It's a pretty popular one up in
Yeah.
Ontario, especially for canoeing, doing portage. I'm not sure if I'm going to do a portage because the canoe on my own might be a little bit too much, but I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Northern Ontario, mid-Northern Ontario.
One of the things I was so nervous about when I did my first one, or just I was so concerned with overpacking stuff, or like, just I felt like, oh, I need to have all of this gear sorted out and I need to have everything's got to be perfect and top notch and all of that going. And it was honestly my comfort items that I had on that trip, like my Kindle and like I had a little lantern thing that I just thought like it was that kind of stuff that I really enjoyed having. And so I feel like for your first one, obviously it's nice if you're not carrying a bazillion pounds of stuff, but
Yeah.
I do think allowing yourself to just like, oh, I want to bring that thing, I'm going to bring it. And just like also, I feel like I took a lot of pictures, like my first longer backpacking trip in Utah, took so many pictures, but it didn't like do it justice after. And I feel like just enjoying that time, like whether you're having your coffee in front of the lake or whatever, it's just like soaking in that feeling. I feel like you can't really, your pictures are going to take you back there and whatever, but just like being immersed in that setting at that time and enjoying it and just like sitting around at camp. I don't know. It's
No.
definitely like I enjoyed that. I didn't really have, we backpacked into this beautiful backcountry lake and we just kind of sat around and hung out and read and chatted and like just looked at this lake. And it was nice to not have plans, and just disconnect. And especially like we're saying now in this world where you don't get to disconnect often, it's just like enjoy that time with yourself, really.
Yeah. And I 100% hear what you're saying. Funny you should mention that. I just finished my first like solo trip ever to Utah a month ago. And I'm currently in that phase. It was a hotel, so it wasn't really camping just because it was December. But I am in that phase right now where I'm going through all the footage I took and all the photos, because every hike I did, I was spending way too much time trying to get like a great video or a great photo. And I'm just looking back and I'm like, I'm glad I have this, but it's never going to do it justice, right? So I 100% hear you on that. Just out of sheer curiosity for my own sake, that first backpacking trip in Utah, could I ask where that was?
Yeah, we went to the Uintas, which is like northern Utah.
Oh, okay.
And my friend who I met her through dog Instagram, she lived in Salt Lake City and we went up there. It was honestly like being from the East Coast. I love our mountains. I love what we have access to, but I had never experienced a trail like that where you just walked on a flat path and then there were just these monstrous mountains everywhere looking at you. And I'm like, this is crazy. This is like
Yeah.
just incredible. Definitely recommend that area if you ever, I don't know where you went in Utah, but if you didn't go there, definitely add it to your list for your next trip.
I didn't. I did all the big national parks just in like one
Yeah.
quick road trip, which were also incredible. I mean, like we have nothing like that on the east, at least not that I know of. So it was mind blowing.
Oh, so cool. I haven't done any of those yet, but those are on my list. So
It really does come down to just living in the moment, like you said, by the campfire, wherever you are, and just taking it all in.
yeah, definitely.
Well, what an incredible creative life you have.
Yeah.
I did hear you say the word Kindle, so just before we wrap up here,
Yes.
what's on your reading playlist, I guess? Or are
Yeah.
you a one book or a two book or person?
Oh my gosh, I love books. I feel like I got back into books. Well, I'm gonna say a genre that got me back into reading. Don't judge me too much, but I was really into romantasy for a
Oh,
while.
yes. Yeah.
That got me back, into reading. But I've read some. My goal this year is to read more nonfiction. And I've been reading. I just had a really great memoir. I think it's older now, but Salika Gerard, I think Salika Gerard is her name, but she did a
Yes.
really cool book where she was traveling around the country and like with her dog too. And it was just like I want to read some more of that this year. That's kind of my goal because I kind of went through my year of reading like 100 not so great, but like binge worthy books. And now I'm into like reading some more. So if you have any recommendations, I'm open to anything.
Well, I'm reading a book right now and it's got me. Like I can't get enough of it. I am listening to it. It's called The Road to Tender Hearts
Oh my God, I'm
by
listening to
Anne.
that too.
Oh my
Right
gosh.
now.
I don't want it
Yes.
to end. What page are you on?
Oh my God. I literally was just listening to it right before I called.
Me
No
too. I
way.
have 5 hours left
That
and
is
I
so funny.
am
Here it is. You probably
in
can't see it, but it's on
oh,
my library. I
I'm
think I've
enamored with Uncle PJ. I mean,
Yes. Me too. It's
everybody
so
needs an
good.
Uncle PJ.
I know. And the like Pancakes the cat is
Oh,
something's up with him.
like
Pancakes the cat? Oh,
they anthropomorphize the cat in the beginning. I know I was
Yes.
like that word, but
that
in the
word.
beginning, you don't know where the book's going to go. And the
Right.
cat says a word or two, and I'm thinking, where is this going? Because
Yeah.
then Uncle PJ says, hello, house, and the house responds. So
Yep.
I just love every aspect of this book.
I couldn't
So,
agree more with you.
oh,
And that's
yeah,
so funny
yeah.
because I think it says I'm on chapter 26. So yep. I think I'm halfway through, but
Yep.
I love it. So
Me
it had been
too.
recommended to me by someone and
The narration is spot on.
it's so good.
And it
Yeah.
makes such a difference. And so, what I tend to do with books is I will read. This book wasn't available to us, but otherwise, I usually get like a paper copy, whether it's library or I purchase. I read the first few pages to solidify the voices in my mind.
Mhm.
Then I go listen to the narration to see if they match. And sometimes it's even better. So then I will hop on to the narrated version of it. But
Yeah.
that's this weird quirk I have.
Oh,
But
that's such a good way to do it.
we
I
don't
like
have access to the book right now here. It was just hardcover. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
Yeah. That because sometimes like I feel that if I if it's a book, I tend to prefer like reading the hard
Mhm.
copy,
Mhm, mhm.
but I do listen to a ton of audiobooks just because like time-wise when you're driving, doing anything, it's like but I do feel like a bad narration can ruin a book for me when it could be an amazing book. And so but I like your that tactic of kind of reading a little bit first and then jumping
Well,
into it.
Audible does have a magnificent return policy, right? Like for most of their books, and I have returned a few that where the narration was just, oh my goodness, like what happened here? Did they get the discount code? Like,
Yeah.
right? So
We won't name
Yes.
names. We won't name names.
yeah, no,
Right.
but it hasn't happened often, but it has, and so
Yeah.
you're right. It can make or break your reading experience with that book. So
Yeah.
that's why I do that. But
Yeah. It
well,
really can.
that's so cool.
I
We're
know.
in the
This
same boat.
just like further solidifies
Yep.
this, like, yeah,
Kindred
same
spirits.
page. Yep.
Well, you have two very loyal followers right here, and we can't wait to see where you go next. And thank you so much for spending
Yes.
time with us tonight.
Like I could talk to you both for hours. So maybe in the future there will be an opportunity to get together at some point because we're honestly not that far apart.
Not that far. Yeah.
Let's make
That
it.
plus, when your book comes out, well, we can
Yeah.
have you back.
That's right.
And
She's really, really going for this.
I love it. Yeah. It's
let's
great.
do it. All right. Well, have a great rest of your day, and we will chat with you soon.
That sounds good.